and women than me suffering needlessly and dying out on the streets. I you see, it's like, let's fix our problems so we can enjoy driving 2020 Corvettes if we want to. But you can't do it when you see it's so selective. It's so it's so specific to a group. It's exclusive. Okay, that's what it is. We got 1.3 of the Earth's population. It might be at 1.4 now. I don't know. That owns Bitcoin, because Max and Stacy are promoting the hell out of it, and all their guests are talking about and promoting Bitcoin, promoting Bitcoin. But like any asset or commodity, everything's got its breaking point, its saturation point. It can't go up forever. Okay, it's just at some point. Let's say, well, I'm only selling my Bitcoin. I want to bump up the price. I want to manipulate it up. Okay, I say no. I'm only selling for 20,000. And I get all the other Bitcoin holders to say, "Come on, come on, come on." I mean, you understand? It's a bizarro world. I understand they're nerds, geeks, and mathematicians, and all, and they know how it works, and all. That's all fine, but they can't tell me that there's no saturation point. There's always a saturation point. We know that. You've got to do it slowly, so you're doing it gradually. Is all that money being invested in Bitcoin? Is it helping the homeless? Is it helping to end poverty? If it is, great, then I'll shut up. If there's more virtue to Bitcoin than I know because it's going in the hands and pockets of virtuous people, and I do believe the smartest people are the most virtuous. Hands down, they're always invariably the most intelligent people are the nicest people, because they understand the value in being nice, the value in simply appreciating when other people are nice to you and trying to live by the golden rule in all their affairs. It works. We can live together in peace and harmony, safety, security, freedom, and prosperity, universally speaking. That's what I'm after. I mean, if I'm going to be accused of being religious just because I talk about Jesus, I say, hey, look, we to this day Google who was the wisest man in the world, that people say, and it's King Solomon comes up, right? But Jesus said one far wiser. That was him, the wisdom of Christ. So am I to reject that? Am I to be ashamed of Christ? What did he do wrong? To be ashamed of him? He raised the dead. He healed the sick, the blind, the lame, the mute, the deaf, everybody. He did nothing. He was just a great dude, man. You'd love to meet, hang out with, chill, talk, shoot the breeze. But he was unique because he didn't have a natural dad. But I'm not going to be ashamed of that. You want to call me religious? Sure. Say, oh, the guy's he's a freaking egalitarian, man. Yeah, he's he's in a cult, man, because he believes in universal equality and getting off money eventually. What kind of an idiot? What kind of a fool is he? What kind of a liar and phony is he? You know he loves money. There's not a human on earth that doesn't love money. Liar, phony. Oh, I know. I understand the mind of men. I know how it works. I have a mind of man. I'm just a fallible human being. I can be wrong. That's why I say you got to do your own research. By doing your own research, at least you've proven to God and man, yourself, that you care enough to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's it. But I know that great wealth has a snare to the soul of man. It could cause a lot of problems. We've all heard the story about people winning the lottery and all this crap. I mean, how do you explain, what if eventually you're going to have issues with the Federal Reserve. And I've got no allegiance or affection, as everybody knows, for the Federal Reserve. But if you start really seriously competing with these people and they feel threatened in some way that I don't even comprehend now. I mean, the Bitcoin holders, they talk about this and all, the threat. Well, then they could crack down. I mean, they manipulate Congress and Senate and often the executive. What makes you think they couldn't do something? You think it's beyond the pale? Impossible? They got geeky, brainy, nerdy types in there too. IT experts and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know much about that crap. I know it's out there. I know there's hackers and spies and, you got viruses and all this crap people will plant on you. Okay? I know all about that crap. Everybody knows about that crap. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know how to do any of it, but I know there's experts in it, and I know the government has access to it. So if you think that the Congress and Senate and the executive branch and the Federal Reserve pushing, telling them you better do this or this thing, it's going to bring the country down and we're too big to fail, right? So, hey, even though the country has failed economically, and what were they doing? I mean, they propped it up with dubious warfare and all this crap for a long time, but that course is run. That's why I say we got to watch Joe Biden like a hawk, that nobody's whispering in his ear. I think he's malleable. I think he's, so we got to watch what he's doing. Don't let him get involved in any dubious wars. Okay, anybody remember that song by, what was it, Country Joe and the Fish or something way back in the 60s? He came up with that song, the Vietnam song. We're done with that, man. I've already lived through that as a little kid. The black and white TVs, the flatbed trucks over in Vietnam, heaped high with the soldiers, the teenage boys out there. Oh, no, man. We're done, man. We still got, to this day, 20 guys a day taking their own lives from remorse or whatever the hell went on over in the Middle East and North Africa. These dubious wars, what we're putting these poor guys through. Remember that song? Come on, all you young, strong men. Uncle Sam needs your help again. He got himself in a terrible jam way down yonder in Vietnam. So put down your books and pick up a gun. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me. I don't give a damn. Next stop is Vietnam. 5, 6, 7. Open up them pearly gates. Ain't no time to wonder why. Whoopee, we're all gonna die. I remember the 60s very well. It's implanted, tattooed on my brain. My dad was pissed off. He wrote a satire on the United States government. He was a former Marine. Knew a lot of stuff that the average Joe didn't. The layman out there, the civilian did not know. He was a Marine during the Second World War on the battleship Iowa. And he was pissed. I mean, he put his life on the line for this country. And he was pissed. And there is still censorship in this country. At least there was back then. And I think it's still going on. That's why I'm not for a crackdown on Bitcoin. I'm not for a crackdown on guys like Alex Jones or anybody else. Julian Assange, free speech, man, all the way. We got to make sure that Uncle Joe Biden doesn't pick a war with Russia, okay? Because that's what I'm watching for. He's got Obama whispering in his ear. These people, what? Why on earth do they hate? What's wrong with Russia? I don't get it. No, they're not perfect. You think America's been perfect? Look at our history of dubious war. The wars that people are like, what the hell are we involved in? What are we doing here? What our reputation? We're the laughing stock. We're resented and reviled by other nations. And yet everybody still wants to come here from those. It's like, those are the people we got support from, so they could come here. It's like, you know what? And we're not always doing right. So what are we coming down on Russia for? They're trying to do the right. They like Putin. He's got very high ratings. Why should we? So what? That's their laws. They can have a president in perpetuity if they want, as long as the people want it. They've got a much more of a democracy than we do. America's not even a democracy. We're a republic. And in a way, a republic is better because in a democracy, the big fly in the ointment is that 51% of the people can vote to enslave the other 49%, right? I mean, that majority is it. So, I mean, it's just stupid. But we're going to, China, oh, yes, China, bow down to China. And it's like, given all their stuff, all our factories and everything, I mean, our standard of living has gone down since Nixon opened trade, and people vaunt Nixon for opening trade with China. I'm thinking, yeah, that was really genius. Well, I mean, who cares? Human rights, let them start being the leaders of the free world and human rights. And then I say, yeah, let's extol them. The Chinese virtue, wow, yes, they're the ones to watch. But I don't see that. Americans aren't going that direction. And that's a good thing I see about Biden supporters. At least I know they're well-meaning people that want the best. They're just Americans, free speech. If they think all Trump supporters are wrong and therefore by extension foolish, stupid people, and that they're the right ones, then they have to be tactful in how they choose, because it is important to them that they enlighten other people. That, don't you understand how evil Trump is? How bad? I mean, he didn't start any wars; he was just ending wars. Okay, so that's why I'm watching Biden. I'm watching you, Biden. No war with Russia. You got it? Let's establish that before you set a foot in office. It's funny. Yesterday afternoon I was taking a nap and I woke up and I remembered a dream I was having. Obama was in my dreams, and I really don't have a lot of regard for Obama, especially when I learned from the Kaiser report that he was very instrumental in pushing through that bailout of '08 that I'm just appalled by. Bailing out the criminal banksters who deliberately caused the blow out the pipes in the economy, all that rash of foreclosures and all that crap. Oh my God. So yes, that's what I'm mad at. If Obama just came out and said, listen, I was wrong. Personally, just between you, I had this dream, and I was at this garden party, and I was inside the house at the party, and I was looking out the window, out into the yard, the garden, and there was Obama. That looked perfectly it was Obama. And I went out, oh, it's Obama. And I felt affection toward him. I don't know. Maybe it was a way that God was trying to purify me from having, bad thoughts, because I hate bad thoughts, man. If you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. God, I wish I could just do that. I mean, but Jesus himself wasn't able to do that, man. I mean, he excoriated people. He didn't want to. It didn't bring joy to his heart. It didn't make him feel like big man on campus or bump up his ego, and his pride. It was nothing like that at all. It doesn't feel good. Nobody wants to walk around with indignation. I'm no different from everybody else. But I went out and I shook his hand, and it was like, it felt healing. Maybe that's the point, is that God was just giving me a feeling of, you've got to make them, all your speech and rhetoric is fine, but what's in your heart, Christopher? What's on your mind? And I need to try harder to forgive people before they're sorry. And this has come to me. This is from prayer and just trying to have an intimate, personal relationship with God, my creator, okay, to embrace these things, because I want to be free. At least, I'm stuck on this ship of fools physically like everybody else, but I can be free in my heart, my mind, my spirit, my soul, my essence, just like you can. It's a choice you make. But when we establish we believe in God, it is important to explore that and expand on that, okay, and be honest. That's it, because little kids can understand this stuff, like Jesus pointed out, okay, because of the innocence, the purity, the simplicity. God doesn't make it difficult. His yoke is easy, his load is light. He's not given us an IQ test. He is the path of least resistance. That's why I tell everybody, jump on it. We got to wean ourselves off money. It's a false competing God. That's the way Scripture says, and that makes sense. Okay, and only God is worthy of getting those kind of that kind of adoration, that affection, that attention, that homage. Okay, belongs to our owner, our creator. And if he says that displeases me, and like it's written, that makes sense again, that those things that are highly valued among men are detestable in the sight of God, then we have to really ponder that statement. I mean, if we ignore it and we don't see the relevance, we choose not to see the relevance is what we're doing. It's our choice, okay, to have that personal relationship and understand, what are God's values? Are mine in line, okay, or are they not in line? Just, God, let me be honest and, correct me, convict me, whatever, discipline me. But I want to be on the right track so that when I leave here, which might be today, at any time, very exhilarating. It's not negative. It's not morbid. It's just the way it is for any of us. It's exhilarating. Might be dead today. You've got to be kidding me. And that's Judgment Day for me. Last time I'm in this little window of opportunity to get it together, figure it out, get my values straight, be found worthy and deserving of going to a better world from here, to be around better people, like-minded people with me with similar values that want to be free. Okay, that's it. It comes down to freedom. It comes down to not living in fear imposed by anybody artificially. No, we don't deserve that. But all those people that love their lives in this world, these uber wealthy people, it's a snare to the soul because they love it so much. That's their God. They're devoted to it. They're loyal to it. So they're devout. Their religion is of this temporal world. And that is sad beyond, it grieves my soul when I think about all those people that have wrong values. They could be beaming, okay, the angel of light, Lucifer, okay, can beam with what appears to be joy, but it's pseudo joy, okay, because like Christ said, the light within people can be darkness. You can't serve two masters.